All right, here I have a jet ski trailer. I haven't checked it since I got it. I just checked the other side over there, and it spun real nice, and the bearings were tight. I just threw some grease in it. There's a grease port here. You pump grease into it till it comes out. There's a little hole on here, and it purges out. Depending on how much grease you have, you can keep pumping it in and purging it and spinning the wheels until clean grease comes out, or you can just pump it until it comes out. That lets you know it's at least full. I'm gonna try to make this video really quick because I always have problems recording on my phone. I don't like editing or uploading or anything. I just like to put it on YouTube straight from my phone. This one is super loose. So before I grease it, I'm gonna knock this bearing, I call them bearing buddies on everything. If it's got a grease port, that's what I call it. That's not the correct term for all of them. I'm gonna knock this off. This is just a cup that sits in there instead of a dust cap. This is just, it basically helps you grease and maintain the bearings and keep water out. I have never worked on this trailer, but I assume it's like most where you just knock this off with a hammer. So I'm going to do that. There it is. Okay. Right here you're going to have, it actually looks like pretty good grease. This nut here, there should be a cotter pin. I'm going to find the cotter pin, take it out, tighten the nut until this wheel isn't loose, and then I'm going to put this back on. You can also take it all apart, check all the bearings and everything like that. I'm going to just tighten the nut till this is good, put the cotter pin back in it, the cover back on, bearing buddy, re-grease it, and then see how smooth it is. If it's tight and smooth, I'll be happy with it. I can't count the amount of time, or I can't imagine or believe the amount of time I've wasted like pulling these things apart to check them, and it's just a complete waste of time. Everything will look good usually. If the bearing hasn't, if you haven't had a failure yet where this thing's just like there's metal chunks hanging out and everything, then usually you're good. Okay, let's see if I can find this cotter pin. So it comes over here. Come on. Usually you just do like this. Sorry, I didn't realize my finger was in the way. Alright, I'm gonna pause the video. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, I needed two hands to get that cotter pin out. But here you can really see the amount of play. And this is just a nut here. So if you wanted to check your bearings, you could just take this nut all the way off, and this wheel would slide off because there's no brakes on this trailer. If you have brakes on the trailer, you'll need to take the wheel off and remove the brake drum. But I think anyways, yeah, because the wheel studs will come through the brake drum. Anyways, I'm just going to tighten this up. Do it with your fingers first. Let's get it as tight as you can. And then so there's a little bearing noise there, but it's not wiggling anymore. It's tight. Hopefully there's a hole still. I got my cotter pin kit here. think it was one of the bigger cotter pins. Like this. Let's see if I can find a hole. Okay, well, that made it loose, but it's still pretty tight. So do I want to go to the next one? Let's see. Well, if you tighten it up to the next one and it makes the wheel not spin good, then you don't want to go to the next one. Still spins okay. Try the cotter pin again. And I got no hole. I think I'm going to back it off and just go to the one it was at. Right here. I know the nut's loose, but cotter pin holds it and there's barely any play at all in it. You don't want to over tighten them. That's as bad as having them loose. I'll get that cotter pin to mush in. Put this on, minus the grass.